Hello everyone, my name is Tiffany and I'm getting ready to do an intense liner because I'm turning myself into Debbie Thornberry, hence the hair. I'm just gonna like put this out of the way. That should do the trick. I'm gonna have to recurl those though, and I really like how they're curled right now. That's gonna be, we'll bump it. Let's put on some makeup.
1 hour later.
Everyone is sleeping in the house, so it felt awkward to like say words. This was gonna be a video of me like talking, but I keep doing these at night, and so then I feel weird. So we're gonna do voiceover mode. I'm sorry guys, let me just whisper sweet nothings. To do the wing, I am using a gel liner. And that's all you're gonna get of ASMR Tiffany. What's up? Voiceover Tiffany here. How you doing? Let's do an intense winged liner, shall we? So I did my base makeup off camera because I did it super similarly to how I normally do it. I'll link a video down below and up in the corner if you want to see how I normally go about doing those things. I'll also have all the products that I use listed down below in the description, as well as over on my Instagram if you want to check that out. For your base makeup, I would just recommend to do whatever it is that you're already comfortable with doing. The key elements for Debbie for me were her hair, the winged liner, and that like purple pink lip that she has going on. I felt like if I made sure that my makeup look had those three elements, that people would like more or less hopefully be able to figure out who I was cosplaying, you know? And I definitely think we did something. So let's actually talk about the wing now, shall we? We shall. To do this wing, you will need the following: the Maybelline gel liner in the shade Blackest Black, which you've already seen me kind of ramble on about for a second, a black eyeshadow, the Morphe M432, it's a finer brush, the Anastasia Beverly Hills brush, either the number 12 or 7B. Both of those are liner brushes that have spoolies on the end. It's just gonna be whichever one you prefer. But both of those brushes are absolutely fantastic for brows and for liner. And then also a very teeny tiny paintbrush. I got this at like a Michael's. Life hack. Sometimes it's just best to use literal paintbrushes. Maybe not with paint on them, you know? Use them with makeup and things that are safe to be on your body. Did you need that disclaimer? I'm giving you the disclaimer now. Thank you. Now for a winged eyeliner, there's like 5,000,000 different ways that you can go about approaching this. But even though this is a more intense liner and I could kind of get as crazy as I wanted to with it, I chose to break this down a little bit for you guys. Also, I recommend if you are new to liner or kind of struggle with it a little bit, that you go ahead and you start with your liner first, and then you can use Q-tips, makeup remover, and then your foundation and concealer to kind of help clean everything up like very easily. Applying eyeliner after your foundation is a little bit of a stressful time, which is just one more reason that I really chose to break this down into like multiple little steps instead of just being like boom, eyeliner all over my eyes. For me, I have really hooded eyelids, so I want to make sure that you can actually see the eyeliner that I'm putting on my eyeballs, and making sure that I'm looking straight ahead. That just ensures that you are actually going to be seeing it no matter what angle I go with. Now that's not as big of a deal with this liner because she do be thick though, but that is something that I like to do, and I wanted to make sure to shout out. So if you also have hooded eyelids, you can put that in your back pocket and use it. That was a weird thing to say. Anyways, what you've been seeing me do so far is the very first step, which is me taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills angled brush. Like I said, you can use the 7B or the number 12 brush. They're both great liner brushes and brow brushes. But I take that, I dip it into the black gel liner. I wipe it back and forth then in the lid so that way I don't have too much product. Again, with this being an intense liner, I'm not as fearful about using too much product, but I'm trying to give you guys some advice for like your everyday kind of liner vibe too. And that's something that I'll always do, is just like wipe that product back and forth whenever I first go in to define my lash line and to also create the beginnings of my wing. I personally like to start at the very end, just to go ahead and get my angle down, and then I will bring that wing in. I go all along my lash line, and then I'll go ahead and I'll even get like my inner corner. For this, I use the line that goes from the very outer corner of my eyeball up to my brow as kind of like the frame of reference for how I wanted the angle to go. But another little life hack for you, you could always use some medical tape, stick it on the back of your hand first, and then kind of use that to help you create your line. To create the angle for the inner corner, I
am literally just using that angled liner brush, the Anastasia Beverly Hills one. I'm using that brush to my advantage to where I can literally just basically stamp that in my inner corner. I have probably like a quarter of it kind of in the inner corner of my eyeball, and then the rest of it, I'm letting the brush just hit my skin. That way it kind of does the work for me, and then I can just build up the thickness from there. Once I've gotten down my base for the liner, I'm just kind of connecting the dots, making it a little bit thicker. Forgot to mention this earlier, but you also do need a black pencil liner. I'm using Urban Decay's liner in the shade Perversion to get my waterline and my tight line. This is important to do, especially when you have such an intense wing, because it's going to ensure that it all blends with the fake lashes that we're going to be putting on later, and it blends with your liner. Otherwise, you'll end up having like little bits of skin, especially when you get close. It's such a small step, but it really does take your looks to the next level and just makes it a little bit more cohesive. Accidentally got some of the liner on my eyelid, so I'm just taking a Q-tip to clean that up, not a big deal. And then after that, I go ahead and I take my favorite concealer, the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I'm using that just to clean this up and make it even more intense. I'm just going in with this like itty bitty tiny baby concealer brush to sharpen everything. Make it nice and pointy. And I use that at both ends, so that way it's like, you know? That was me making like a stabby knife noise. Your knives don't sound like that? I don't know, it sounds like they're broken to me. So once I'm happy with the shape of my liner, I go in with the Morphe M173 mini buffer brush, and I use some translucent setting powder, and I just pack that all around so that way I don't have to worry about anything smudging at all. Next, it's time for our Morphe definer brush from earlier that I was talking about. This makes sure that my liner is not budging anywhere, but it also brings a little bit more pigment to the liner as well. Man, I really lied to you guys about the products that you need to do this liner. I mean, I told you like the base products that you would need. So I guess everything else that I'm doing is just me being extra. Good news is that we're on the final step now, because I want to be even more extra and I want this just to be a little bit smoky. I'm taking the Morphe M506. It's one of my favorite little brushes of all times. I'm a big fan. And I'm taking the black eyeshadow on that brush, and I'm softly smoking out this liner. So I want to make sure that I'm keeping the integrity of our little points that we worked so hard, our little slashy points. Why slashy? I'm going through and watching Scream right now. I'd seen the first one and then I saw the fourth one, I think. So I'm going through and I'm watching all of those right now, and I think that's just in my brain, and that's why I keep bringing it back to slasher films. I apologize. And that is it for this liner for Debbie Thornberry. Let me know if you guys ever want me to do like a really in-depth video on liner. I tried to give you guys like some little nuggets that you can use in your like day-to-day looks. But I also didn't want to overwhelm you with information. So hopefully that was helpful. Once you have your liner, you can throw on some mascara, the lashes of your choice. Because we're doing such an intense wing, I wanted to get some that are shorter in the front and then they wing out. I personally opted for the D-Star lashes in the style Mrs. Claus. Their lashes in Jacqueline are also very similar. And the very last step is, of course, the lips. So I ended up going with 2 different liquid lips for this one. I used the shade Nice to Fuchsia from Wet n Wild, and then to highlight and make it just a little bit more pink, I used the shade Take 5 from ColourPop. And if you wanted to, you could totally apply this like you normally apply your liquid lipstick, but I wanted to pay homage. Is that the word, Tim? Homage? Homage. I wanted to pay homage to Debbie Thornberry's little like oblong lips that she has, like with like the character design. For all of the humans in the Wild Thornberrys, they have just very round lips. I don't know. They make me think of like little worms or something. I don't know. So I wanted to kind of try to bring that to life with the makeup look. So I filled in my Cupid's bow. I tried to keep that really straight. And then again, I just rounded out the corners so I could pay homage to the like oblong shape that all the humans have in the character design for the Wild Thornberrys. Right after I did it, I was really stressed and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to take off all my makeup immediately and just start over. And I learned to love it. I embraced it. And I'm really glad that I did, because I actually really liked that I ended up taking that angle with it. So don't doubt yourself, okay? You got this. So the only thing we didn't talk about was the hair, but I decided I'm going to do an entirely separate video just on hair, because I feel like there's probably a lot of people who would want to know how to do the hair but don't actually want to watch a full video on me becoming Debbie Thornberry. So look forward to that video. It will be coming in November. Get jazzed, make sure you subscribe. And guys, that's the video. I gotta say, this is honestly probably one of my favorite cosplays that I've done so far. I don't know what it is, but I just had so much fun acting as Debbie Thornberry. I don't know what to tell you. And I also was really happy with how the look came together. So I don't know, it was like, I was happy with the look. It was fun acting as her. I don't know, it was just a really good time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. I don't have any B-roll footage, but I hope that you enjoyed this TikTok footage. If you're not already following me on TikTok and on Instagram, make sure that you go do so at TiffanyLove_MUA. If you decide to be Debbie Thornberry for Halloween this year, please tag me so I can see your creations. I am posting 2 videos a week on YouTube for Halloween this year, so make sure that you subscribe, like this video if you liked it, and just thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, evening, afternoon, night, whatever it is, wherever you are, and I will see you again soon. Bye, guys! I wanted to do something different and maybe I shouldn't have, but I'm not mad at it because I just didn't want to do my lips like normal. I wanted to pay ode to like their lips that look like this. Now I just look like Miranda sings. Hello. Hello.